So I'm going to start off by defining diplomacy. So diplomacy is basically the relationship and the like how people or how countries deal with each other. So I have a quote by, it says Catlin, I think it was meant to say Caitlin. Diplomacy is the art of saying nice doggy till you can find a rock. And I disagree to a point, because I think that causes a lot of problems, and if it can be solved a lot of times by just communication. So if you went up to someone and you said like I have a problem with this, and I don't really like how this is going down, like it could stop the whole like putting on a fake mask and showing them like everything's fine, if that makes sense. So I'm going to talk a little bit about a problem solution kind of a couple stories that I have about that. So the first problem is like people are afraid to share how they feel about certain issues. So if so for instance, I shared my room with my brother growing up, like all throughout like my entire life, pretty much. And I noticed like a couple times I would come back to my room and like my things would be all over the place, or it'd be messy and I couldn't get to the bed or whatever. And I just wouldn't say anything, and I'd be passive aggressive, and I'd like put on a nice face, like nothing would be a problem. But I realized that like as it went along, like if I just were to talk to him, that problem would have been a lot different. And so I moved down here. I'm from Sacramento, and I moved down here. And when I got roommates, I decided that I was going to try and change that. So whenever there was a problem, I decided to identify it and communicate clearly with my roommates so that we could figure out how to stay cordial, but also stay in communication, which I thought was very important. So yeah, I would say that you should be communicative and talk to people when you're trying to solve problems.
Well, the idea of a definition when your topic is a definition is a little awkward, but when you're disagreeing with the definition, I guess it works out okay. Your point of view is pretty clear. You do suggest a structure, a problem solution kind of structure. There's not as much discussion of each of the individual points as there might be. It seems like both of them are actually together. The problem and the solution are coming at the same time, and there's not a lot of elaboration on each of the problems. But you had an okay example about speaking up for yourself. Apparently you didn't do that at home, but you need to do that now that you have roommates, and that's okay. I just, there's nothing wrong with what you said. I just think there's more opportunity to find a more interesting way of describing it. It just remains a little vague as you are presenting it. On the other hand, the delivery things for the most part are pretty solid. I would still want you to lose the hat because it does cover up your face a little bit, but you do have an engaging facial expressions. You are looking at the audience regularly while you speak. I do think that you're trying to engage us, and I think that works pretty effectively. The pace of the presentation and your vocal inflection is engaging also. You do seem like you are, there's a good sense of immediacy going on here. Let's see, there was something else I was going to talk about, but I think, even though your facial expressions are conveyed, this sounds a little strange, partially by your head and partially by your hands. Those are actually gestures, but they really add to the tone that you're saying, and because you're looking at us directly, it's almost like they kind of create a more vivid expression for you while you're speaking. And so I do get the sense of, sometimes being frustrated and sometimes being sincerely motivated to fix a problem when you're talking, and those things are the things that help the most. Thank you.